Hey guys, it's M4J here, and welcome back to Railroads Online. So last time out, we built a line up to the sawmill here, and we also built a yard down at the freight depot. This time around, we're starting up at the sawmill. We dropped off the logs last time, and we're actually doing basically the reverse of what we did last episode. So we're starting up at the sawmill, we're driving back down to the freight depot, which we will do in real time, although I won't show you the whole journey because we've seen it so many times before. There's a lovely whistle. Instead, I'm going to show like a cut-up version of the journey. I'm going to kind of commentate on what's going on here as well. And then we're going to head back to the freight depot where I am going to build the second yard on the opposite side of the freight depot to the first yard. So here we are then running around the train with Betsy. It was a good opportunity here to test some of the run-round loops here and also to test something which I've never used in the game before, which is the turntable. Nearly derailed Betsy there. Actually forgot to change the points before I reversed onto those onto that section there. That would have been calamitous had that resulted in a derailment. But yeah, I wanted to test this this turntable, whether or not it actually works. I believe I've worked out how to do it. I mean, you'll see in a second I don't derail at all, so I must have worked out somehow how to do it. But getting onto the turntable was a bit of a pain, and I believe it slopes down here as well because I slammed the brakes on. And we just keep going. So it's a bit like that episode of Thomas the Tank Engine from way back when is it James can't get on the turntable properly and ends up spinning around really, really fast. I think that's the right one. Someone will probably correct me on that, I'm sure. But I managed to line Betsy up bang in the middle, and then we start spinning the table itself. Now, I'm not a huge fan of the way the turntable works in this game. I appreciate the fact that you don't have to move the mouse left or right. You just have to left click or right click depending on which way you want to go. But you can't see where you are. Like, you can't see where the track is in relation to the on and off sections. So there was a lot of trial and error involved here. You'll see me make like finer adjustments as we get closer and closer to the end of the rotation here. But I wanted to test it out. There's no reason really to use Betsy on the turntables apart from just testing it out here. Some purists, shall we say, locomotive purists would want to see Betsy running smokebox first. And I'm kind of in that bracket, but I don't mind shunters running in reverse. That's kind of what they're for at the end of the day, specifically tank engine shunters. So we might see Betsy making a few more backwards moves in the future. But right now, I just wanted to test out the turntable. Very happy to say that it worked. You will see me drive Betsy off. Actually, do you see me drive Betsy off? I can't remember if I cut to just after I drive Betsy off. But yeah, we'll get coupled up to the wagons in a second. I think, yeah, not quite aligned. Also, the gap on this side seems to be bigger than the gap on this side, which I'm not entirely sure how that works because I snapped on the opposite side to where we are now. Whereas this was done freehand, and yet I seem to have gotten closer. I don't know how that worked, but oh yeah, we do see Betsy drive off. Main thing is, it works. And you can see there the turntable was definitely on a slope because I released the brakes there and we started rolling backwards. But there we go. Flew off the end of the turntable there without so much as a care in the world. Lovely stuff. Very happy to see it. I'm loving this game, by the way, the driving aspect. Driving aspect is fun. The track building, which you'll see a little bit later on as well in the second part of the video, is still a little bit of a nightmare. I am getting better at it, but it is still a little bit of a nightmare. We've not even got to the hard stuff yet. This is still like the basic setup stuff. So there's plenty more tests and challenges to come. Love that whistle. Love that whistle. It's awesome. So this part, then, I decided I would try and carry some planks or battens, I think is the other thing that the sawmill makes, back to the freight depot. Anyone in the comments right now who's about to type what I think you're about to type, I'll save yourselves the trouble. We've got the wrong type of wagon. These wagons carry, I think it's metal and logs. These wagons do not carry anything else, which, to be honest, I can kind of understand. Looking at it, I can kind of understand how you wouldn't get planks on here. But at the same time, it is a flat wagon. Surely you can tie some planks to a flat wagon. It doesn't need the bits on the sides. Surely. But, alas, the developers of the game decided that certain wagons could only hold certain items. And because of that, you will see in a minute the fatal flaw that I make. Not once, but twice, because I thought that I hadn't parked the wagon in the right place the first time around. So I went and moved it slightly and then wasted another set of planks. The good thing, though, about this, again, it's a nice little experiment. I got to test how close these wagons actually get to the platforms here. Now, obviously, I haven't been able to test whether or not we will be able to load anything from these platforms, or whether we would have to move the track or not. Because that was the first thought that I had when it didn't work. Was the train was in the wrong place. Either the track was in the wrong place, or the train was parked in the wrong place. Here go the first set of planks. They just disappear. Now, I guess it's kind of good that the game punishes you for getting it wrong, but at the same time, I really wish we hadn't wasted these planks. So you see here, I'm lining it up thinking, okay, that wagon's not in the middle of the crane. Let me go back to the loco here. I'll move Betsy forward a little bit and maybe that'll fix it. No. Also, this bit's slightly downhill as well. You'd think these bits are flat, but nope. They're not. Or at least maybe there was some inertia or something in bit. I don't know. I'm making stuff up as I go along right now. Here's attempt number 2 then. So we had 18 planks at the start. The first one took us down to 17. This one takes us down to 16. And again, no planks appear. And I'm actually surprised with myself how quickly I worked this out. I thought, oh, maybe it's to do with the wagon. So I went here and you can see there logs and I can't remember what the other one said. It's metal something, I think. And then, yeah, I found the wagon that's meant to be able to hold planks. We can't afford any right now. So I decided to rage drive back to the freight depot. And boy, did I rage drive. I think I just put the throttle. Once we got through the tricky bit here, down the hill and round and up again, I just whacked the regulator into 100% and just absolutely blasted Betsy back towards the freight depot. I was very, very annoyed at myself more than anything. I'm not annoyed with the devs. As I said, I get it. You know, wagons are meant to hold different things. And I would put that under the bracket of realism. I'm just an idiot for not working that out sooner. So I'm a little bit annoyed at myself for that. But yeah. Oh, another opportunity to see the line that we've got here. Still love that whistle. I really should learn like whistle conventions and stuff to make sure that I am using the whistle correctly. Just, yeah, for reasons. I'm a nerd. So here we are then back at the junction here between the main line and the freight depot. If you go straight on there, you head back to where you pick up locos and wagons from when you buy them new. I stop here just in time to flick these points because I am not heading straight on this set of points back to the left-hand side of the freight depot. I'm actually going to head right. So you remember last episode I said that we were building 2 yards. The first one between the freight depot and the loco area is the smaller of the two. There's a couple of run-round loops / storage sidings, and that's about it. No room for a turntable or anything like that. This side is the bigger of the two. And you're only really seeing the first phase of what I've got planned for this. And even then, it is bigger than I expected, but it's also smaller than I expected, if that makes sense. Some of it is a bit more spread out. Some of it is a little bit tighter. You will see me test some of the lines at the end, including the new loco servicing facility that I've built, which is kind of a temporary thing. I don't think it'll be a permanent fixture. I would like to build some kind of storage facility for the locos in the future. And I say locos plural, because one thing I was going to spitball with you guys is the idea to get some of you on here as well when I'm recording. So people could be driving trains and building up funds whilst someone else is building new tracks. That kind of thing. So if I did this on my own, it would probably take months. And I don't know if I've got months, in all honesty, to actually go through and build all this stuff. Plus, it'd be nice to just have some company in a game like this. The whole point of this game is it's built to be multiplayer. So if you're running a train along one line, you might have to stop and let another train through in the other direction, or a train might pass you on a bridge. And you can't really do that when you're playing by yourself. So I would like to get people involved and people online. However, as with most things on my channel, I think I am going to restrict it to Patreon supporters only to start off with, just to make sure that we're not getting any griefers involved. I think that's the safest way of doing it. I think it's the best way of doing it. One of my tier rewards is to be involved with online games as and when. So I think that's, like I said, the fairest way of doing it. Let me know what you think down below. If you think you want to be involved, feel free to check out Patreon. Link should be in the description. If it isn't for any reason, do let me know. And if you like the idea, even just let me know. Why not? It's always good to share ideas and things like that. And hopefully we'll get some people online and we can get the fun started. So yeah, you can see the first sort of layout here of this this yard. We've got the main delivery track, and then we've got the beginnings here of run round loops. And immediately, trust me, to delete the wrong section of track there. Very, very frustrating. And that's that little bit connected up again. So we've got two sets of points here. One of which I believe just heads over to the turntable, I want to say. Or that might not be right anymore. Maybe it does. Maybe it does. And then the other one heads up. Oh, I think this one just curves round for a little bit, and then there's another set of points that head towards the turntable. I don't actually know if these switch levers have collision. I hope they don't, because if they do, then I'm slightly in trouble here, because I feel like some of these points are actually going to have the switch lever impeding on other tracks. Yeah, I think I'm trying to remember exactly how many tracks we end up with. I think it's like 4 storage tracks. Then the delivery track. Then I think there's an extra run round loop. It might be 3 storage tracks thinking about it. Then the extra, and then the run round loop, and then the little loco servicing area that I've put in as well. And again, you'll have to bear with me with some of this. It was getting quite late at night when I recorded some of this video, and I thought I'd finished, and then I noticed that a bit of track was out of place, as you do. And then one thing led to another, and I think another hour went by. So you'll have to forgive me if I do forget some things that happened here. Like I said earlier, this game is amazing for driving. It's not realistic, don't get me wrong, but it's a fun driving game for trains. This though, the track laying, when it works, it's great. It's so satisfying. When it doesn't work, like trying to line these points up, if these points snapped, and if it wasn't just the lead-in that snaps, but if it was everything, this would be so much easier. But you can see they're trying to get these tracks to actually snap to one another. One thing I had to keep reminding myself when I was doing this is it's a narrow gauge railway. It doesn't have to be perfect. There can be some misalignment. Again, that kind of actually adds to the realism, if anything. But there are little bits here and there where it just became a pain. And that section between those 2 bits of points... just so annoying. But yeah, we do get around it. We make it work. And I'm getting very good at building smooth curves now. I'm very, very happy with my ability to build smooth curves. I kind of cracked how to do it. Especially when it comes to the embankments like this. You basically don't do it off a set of points like I did there, because the menu in the top left will get stuck showing the point controls. Why it does that, I don't know, but it does. You build a straight bit out first, then you build 2 straight bits out first is what I did on most of these. One where if I can only fit one in, so I'm sort of doubting and then doubting myself again. If you only fit one straight bit of track in, I always try and bend it slightly off in the direction that I'm curving in anyway. Because if you just build it dead straight and then start curving, you get this weird kink at the end. Whereas if you slightly bend it, the kink actually straightens it out, if that makes sense. Then you start curving. If you're building it on an embankment, like I was there to the turntable, then you create the curve in the same angle of the embankment. And then that stops there being any problems when you actually build the track, and it should all line up and things like that. You could start off with a gradual curve, like 5 degrees, and then bump it up to 10, 15, 20, that kind of thing. I don't necessarily recommend that you do that if you're working in tight spaces, like if you're building a yard here, for example. You can just go straight from 0 to 15 if you want to. So long as you get that first bit of track right so it doesn't kink, you're not going to end up in any real trouble. So this is the second set of points going in. This is the other side of the yard. I think, just looking at this, I think everything lines up. I do remember at one point I delete a bit and then kind of redo it because I didn't think I got it right. I can't remember exactly what it was. I think, yeah, because I think that first set of points, it was a little too close to the drop-off track. And really, I don't want the drop-off track to be impeded by anything. If some of these storage sidings are out of use because there's wagons on the other line and they're a little too close, that's kind of different. But I don't want the drop-off track to be impeded by anything else because that kind of defeats the point of it existing. So just doing a little bit of work there. This is the other part of my building curves tutorial here. Once it lines up there, you just press the left Alt key again to stop the straight snap or the angle snap, and you end up being able to connect it up pretty well, I would say. Pretty well. So this central bit here, I'm actually planning on building, so there's the line that runs past the turntable. You'll see it on the left there. That's going to be a through track. That's not going to go to the freight depot at all. That's just going to continue going straight. And then that will be for getting to... I want to say it's the smelter in that direction, but I don't think it is. There is something. Maybe it's like the oil wells or something off in that direction. A little ways away. And eventually we will have trains that arrive from the logging camp or even the sawmill that are going to places like the smelter, the mines, things like that. Some of them might stop here just to pick up other wagons along the way. Some of them might just go straight on. And that's what this bit's for, is to allow the trains to go straight on. We technically could do that on the other side of the depot as well. We'll have a through track on both sides. But for now, I just wanted to get this side done, which technically isn't the main line. The main line really is the other side, but that's by the by at this point. And now we come to another gripe of mine, which is placing the firewood depot. Again, you'd think it would be relatively straightforward, just line it up with the track. But unfortunately, I had tracks on both sides, and I built this in the wrong order. I should have built one track first, then put the depot down, and then built the other tracks. But I tried to build the tracks first and then build the depot in between. And because you have to... like when you place the firewood, unless there is another way of doing this, by the way, if there is, please let me know. But you have to place the firewood depot down in a very specific way. It's the way you're facing that matters, and you can't see what you're doing. So you see here, I'm trying to get this track in the middle of the depot, which sounds easy until you try and do it. And I was trying to use that tree in the background there as a datum, and I just could not place it correctly. So I think in the end, I just place it down, delete the track, rebuild the track. It was just easier to do it that way. Way easier. And then we've got problems with... I tried to put down a water tower and a sanding tower. Both of those, again, very similar issue. Couldn't line them up. And then I think I placed everything down and was happy with it. And then realised that I needed to move some track around. And then basically had to start again. You can see the bit on the right, the platform on the right is the drop-off. It's where you drop off any type of wood for it to be turned into firewood. And because of that, that's really the track that needs to line up. I believe that's also the track, or the side of the depot that you don't see when you're placing the depot down. It's on the opposite side. The side you see is the firewood side, which is where you pick it up and put it in the loco. But that bit you do by hand. You don't need to be parked right next to it. So, again, I think the developers have kind of got that the wrong way round. But I guess it's part of the challenge of the game, trying to line it all up so that it works. I haven't tested this, because I haven't got anything right now that I can store planks in. I was going to do it with the planks. That was going to be the point of this episode, really, was I was going to pick up planks, bring them back down, and then drop them off at the firewood, or drop one lot off at the firewood depot, and the other two lots would be dropped off at the freight depot to make more money. That was what was going to happen. But because I couldn't pick up the planks, that idea very quickly went out the window. And again, I'm just looking at what I did here, because you will see me in a second. I think this is the bit where I realise, A, that through track that I was trying to build no longer exists, and B, something else doesn't quite feel right here. there's that little spur track that I built next to the central track that just had nowhere to go. And I didn't like that because I wanted it to be... I wanted a 3-road loco depot, basically. I wanted one road to be drop-off for wood. Central road, which is where locos are going to be stored between turns. And then the road on the other side where firewood would get picked up and put into the loco. And you can see this track here, I couldn't fit it round. And I think you see me try... I'll just do a quick save there. You see me try and actually build it. And I end up with this really, really wonky looking track, which I was not happy with in any way, shape or form. You see I'm trying to build it as close to the edge there so that I can just immediately off of this siding bend it round. You see my little trick there? I pointed it slightly to the left, so when I do this big bend here, it comes out how I want it. There's 30 degrees, and already I'm thinking this isn't going to work, but I persevere anyway. And I keep building this round, turn off the snap, and I mean that probably would work for Betsy, but it wouldn't work for anything else. No other loco would be able to use this, and therein lies the problem. But for some reason I stick with it for a little bit longer, and I try and place a water tower. This is when I was trying to work out how the water tower actually works. You'll be pleased to know that the one that I have placed, I don't actually show this on camera because I wasn't expecting to do it when I recorded this, but the only one I haven't tested is the sander. But I did put water into Betsy using the water tower, so I can confirm that works. The water tower is also self-refilling. I don't know how because there's no rain, but it fills back up by itself. And the firewood as well. I mean, as I said, you fill up with firewood by hand, so there's no... You don't have to worry about where the engine's parked. But Betsy is fully refueled. So at some point, between now and the next episode, whether or not that's next week, I don't yet know. But at some point between now and next episode, I am going to do quite a few runs back and forth between the logging camp and the sawmill, and try to build up enough money, first of all, to buy those wagons that can carry planks, and then also bring some planks back to the freight depot, drop them off, maybe even buy a second locomotive, and go from there. And just try and build up enough enough money, really, and enough resources so that we can start looking forward to continuing our progress within the game. This is me just checking points as well. At this point, I was getting ready to run Betsy down and start testing things out. But I do remember... this is what did it for me. Yes, I remembered that there was that extra set of points, which actually was what I wanted to use as the gateway to the depot here, or at least the drop-off track. And I tried to build an extra set of points here, but you see they don't fit. At that point, my mind was made up. This is just going to be a continuous straight line, like so. And then this track here is going to connect up with the points. I love how I just jumped up and down there a few times as well, just so I can see where this was lining up. And again, I think I ran into the problem of... It's a bit of a weird curve, this one, but I do believe it is actually manageable for pretty much every engine. And even if it isn't, we can kind of use buffer wagons just to... Oh, no, yeah, no, that's fine. Seeing it like that, just realised that's fine. But I didn't like this this tight curve on this side, so I did decide to do something about that. I believe the plan was to get another set of points out. Like, get rid of this set. Actually, do I? Or do I? No, yeah, no, this one goes straight on, like so. And then we do, I believe, get another set of points on this loop here. Or try to. And again, I'm going off memory here. My dad calls these Peppa Pig moments. It's something to do with a political speech, which I don't want to get into personally. We know how I feel about politics on this channel. But yeah, where you forget your place in what you're saying. And you start talking about Peppa Pig world, which... Who saw that coming? So yeah, I think what I end up doing here, that's right. So I try and line it up this way. I think I'm trying to get the track to navigate around that switch and then realize that's a terrible idea. So I go with a slightly different way instead. Accidentally delete those points. That was annoying. But we do replace them. And I believe I just open up the angle here a little bit more. Although again, that does look pretty similar to how it was before. So maybe that's not what I end up doing. I I think all this stuff... Oh, yeah, here we go. Remove all the track. We start again. It does all work. Like I said, I promise you, it does all work. I don't think the fire... Does the firewood depot move? Yeah, I move it back slightly, don't I? Yes, I do. There we go. I move it back slightly. There we go. We open up the gap. We extend this unloading track a little bit further. Like so. And we get it into a good position here. I think I just, yeah, have it like that. I'm going to try and use this bridge track for loading and unloading. Just because it's good for marking out the distance. I can't remember who it was who suggested that now. I think it was someone in the comments of one of Blue Wizard's videos. But it was a very, very, very handy tip to read. Specifically as I hadn't bought the game at the time. I was debating whether to get it or not. And I was just looking at what people were suggesting in the comments and saw that. Very, very handy suggestion. So, yeah, big thanks to whoever that was who did suggest that. And what was the other thing? Oh yeah, it's like a stopping marker basically. Once your wagon gets onto that track, you know you can stop because you're at the unload spot. That last curve there wasn't very well done, so I do take that back and redo it. For that first bit of the curve wasn't very well done either. Like I said, I've tested this. I've run Betsy. You'll see me at the end running Betsy into the storage track. From there, I do actually... do I run it? Yeah, no, I think I do. And then from there, I do actually go and fill her up with firewood and stuff. I think you do see me fill her up with water, thinking about it. And we're running the last 5 minutes of the video now anyway, so you will see it. I do place this track down as well, just as, again, stopping markers, really, nothing more than that. And then here I go with the water tower and the sanding. I was debating whether to build some points there as well for that, where those two tracks converge. I might end up doing that, you know. There's no reason why I shouldn't. And then the sanding, I was going to put it on that side. And then I thought about it again and thought, actually, no, don't need to. I can just extend this out. I think I curve... In fact, this might be the part I was talking about. Yeah, I think I build these points here. Building points, by the way, is the worst part of this game. You'll see me constantly... Look at that. It just doesn't line up. I think I had like 12 attempts at this. Trying to build these points. And I was getting more and more annoyed. My missus was wondering what the heck I was doing. Because I was just grumbling about not being able to line this up properly. And even that, I thought I changed the angle enough, but nope. I believe I do get it lined up in the end, though. You will see me build a set of points that basically works. That was even further offline. That was incredibly bad. And then, yeah, I build a sanding tower and stuff connected. Is that right? No, that doesn't work either. There was a couple of moments, not just in this episode, but in previous episodes, where I thought if I just built a straight line between the two, it would sort itself out. And then you look at it and you're like, oh, no, that doesn't work at all. I think this one I just gave up and went, you know what? Screw it, that'll do. And we'll just go from there, basically. And there's that done. So I think this line here could potentially go straight on as well towards whatever industry it is off in that direction. And we'll join up with the other track on the other side. But this now allows me the space to build the sanding tower, which will slightly impede on the main line if a loco stopped there to re-sand. But otherwise, it should be fine. No big deal. And then at this point, I thought, let's test all this. So we run back to grab Betsy. We bring her in to one of the storage tracks. We had to refuel her as well. So you'll see me waiting for the boiler pressure to come back up. But we do bring her in. We park her in one of the storage tracks. We drop off the wagons. I believe there is one of the wagons has its brakes on 100. So that train's not going anywhere, basically. And then from there, in fact, here we go. From there, we then park Betsy. I was going to use the turntable again to spin around, but like I said, it was getting quite late at night at this point, so I just wanted to park her up and be done with it, basically, and get away from building point work for a bit. God, that's stressful. I think this is where I was waiting for the boiler pressure to build up. So we managed to roll it, like freewheel it pretty much downhill. And then, yeah, here's where the boiler pressure started going up again. And then we were able to... Oh, do I go this way? Okay, I thought I did some reversing back there, but no, I go all the way over here. So yeah, I think from the freight depot drop-off, this will be a through track that will just continue off and up into the mountains. I think that sounds like quite a good idea, to be honest. And then trying to park Betsy in the right spot. So you can see the water inlet, or the tank entry, is just in front of the dome there. So that's that open. And then we drop the pipe down. And this is me checking that it's working, and I'm glad to say it was. And yeah, that's pretty much it for this episode, guys. You'll see me just park Betsy at the end here, and that's that. So, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button if you enjoyed the video, and of course, if you're enjoying the series. Drop some comments down below, ideas and all that good stuff. Oh, I do fuel her up here. I forgot about that. Yeah, I do fuel her up here. Yeah, ideas for future episodes, all that good stuff will be really, really helpful. And let me know what you think about the Patreon idea. If you want to get involved, link, as I said, is in the description. Check it out. You don't have to support me if you don't want to, but I would rather start off with Patreon supporters, just, again, to avoid griefers and things like that. Keep it fun for everyone. What else? If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, be sure to hit the subscribe button. It really does help me out. If you have already subscribed to the channel, thank you guys for your continued support. That really did help me out. And just as we park Betsy here in the siding, I'm going to say thank you once again for watching. And until next time, the brakes screech on. I will see you soon.